Well. Look who's back for another Eleons video. Yeah, it's me. That's right. The guy that hasn't uploaded in like a month. Guilty. But, anyways, you might be wondering, hey, what is this? Why is there a slideshow on my screen? Um, well, here's the thing. Eleons is going to come out soon, right? It didn't. There wasn't a release date yet, but it's gonna come out soon. And I want to just come up here and voice a little my hopes of what this game can achieve and some concerns I might have about the game that I hope they can solve, right? Because I want this game to be successful. I think this is a very good that has very good potential to be like in the top 3, in the big 3 of Roblox creature capturing games, right? We got Tales of Tenorio, Lumia Legacy, and right now it's just it's just a battle between Doodle World and whatever there is. I don't even know the other creature capturing games, but Eleons could be number 3. So I'm gonna just come up here, raise some questions, maybe talk about some things that it is necessary for the games to improve to be, to be that top tier game. Yeah, but yeah, let's get right into it. If you like the video, just subscribe. If you think my opinions are wrong, please comment down below. Let's take a look. Right. So what do we got here? We got a little main topics. Let's take a look at what we're gonna talk about. We got updates and events. We got Eleon's designs and interactions. We got PvP and trading. That's a big one. We got quality story. I'm really a story guy, so I'm a big I will be looking forward to it. We got community and communications. That's very important. And finally, we got competition. And I'm also, on the side note, it's not a main topic, but I will want to talk about um the gameplay. I will want to talk about all the side stuff, the stuff that's but like on the side of capturing this creature capturing. I'll talk about that on the side. But right now, let's get into it. We got updates and events. Now this is my concern on it, because the worst thing Eleons can do in terms of update events is having no updates at all. What do I mean by that? Lumion Legacy. The notorious game for having just the absolute slowest updates ever. Well, you by the time they're gonna release a new route, you're gonna have a wife and kids. We got a dog. We adopted the dog. We paid off our car's mortgage. All right, this is the issue here, because if you the slow updates is gonna receive a is going to result in a decline of players, and that decline of players is going to result in the devs not thinking this thing is worth it, resulting even a slower update, right? So this is just a vicious cycle here. So what you gotta do, Eleons, and I don't know what your plan of in terms of releasing updates is, but it should not be something like Lumia Legacy, where they give you 2 years with just Christmas and Halloween events only to give you a new route, right? Polishing is good. Polishing is necessary. Alright? We've seen what what happened to Tales of Tenorio because they didn't polish their reboot version. That thing got shut down in an hour. But you gotta give us some updates, right, periodically. So here's my solution. There's 2 solutions here. One, on the left side here, you see we could go for a larger but slower drop, right? So we're gonna have slower updates, maybe half a year, maybe a year for an update. But those updates are gonna be larger. And that's what Lumia Legacy has been missing. Really, Lumia Legacy have really gone for slower drops, but they haven't gone for larger, right? Because at the end of the day, all they're giving us is gonna be a new route. Fuck am I gonna do with a new route? Catch like 2 new Lumians? Really, buddy? We're not gonna do shit. So you gotta aim big. Maybe give us maybe a couple routes, maybe 1 or 2, maybe a city alongside with it, maybe an expansion on something. But just don't give us one thing, right? Cause like look, let's take a look at the example here. We got Minecraft, all right? They've gone for like drops every like few months, which is pretty slow, for a live service game. But look at these drops. We got the Copper Age, we got Chase the Skies, we got Mounts of Mayhem, and the things they're adding, they're pretty big. Copper Age, a total revamp on copper items. Like we got the Copper Golem back, we got new copper armor, new swords, we got a bunch of stuff really. And then we got to Chase the Skies. We got a new rideable mob. It's just it's just amazing, isn't it? And then when we go to Mounts of Mayhem, completely revamped the mount system, right? It made horses useful again. It got us the Nautilus. It got us zombie horses. It got us spears that changes the weapon system, right? It changes these things, right? And recently, Minecraft Live just came out. It just gave us a new cave biome with sulfur and little slime balls you can put items into, and that they become balls that for mini games, right? These changes the game. This gives us a whole new expansion of stuff. They're big drops. That's why nobody's mad that maybe sometimes they come out with slower updates, because it's goated. And on the right side, we could take a look at smaller but more frequent updates, right? If we took at People might not know these two games. They're gacha games, Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. Pretty big games in their own fields, right? Probably the biggest games in their own fields. But these updates, they like every version, which is like a new story, new characters, and basically new map. These updates can come out every 6 weeks, and these are fast updates. Frankly, they don't give us that much aside from like a new story, maybe like 1 or 2 new characters in those 6 weeks, and like maybe a new map if it's like a very major thing. But these updates are fast. They're smaller, but they're fast, right? So Eleons, I don't know which route you're gonna take, but any of these routes can work, right? Since I saw like on the UI, you're gonna have like stuff like if you stay in the game for how long, you could get certain rewards. Maybe there's like some live service stuff. I don't know what the game's gonna be about, but honestly, I think you could take either approach, and as long as you don't take the the small the smaller, slower drops approach, I think you're gonna be set, really. Now let's take a look at PvP. PvP is a big thing here, right? It might not seem like a big thing, but it's a big thing. You know why? Let's take a look at Pokemon Championships. Possibly one of the largest events, basically the largest events Pokemon can do. It's VGC, right? Because it gave us characters like Wolfie VGC, one of the biggest Pokemon creators of all time, my goat, you know, and of course there's Cincinnati. It gave us new games like Pokemon Champions was gonna be the stable game for future Pokemon VGCs. It gave us good community memes to laugh at. It gave us positive community it gave us community growth. And that's what's so good about PvP, is because this type of endgame is positive. It generates it creates a community. It creates motion. All right, and without it, I like without a good PvP system, any like creature capturing game with a PvP system, it might flop. I'm gonna be honest. And here I listed a pretty good list, for a successful PvP system. First of all, we got a diverse choice of Eleons, which I hope they don't mess up because, you can't have the same six Eleons in every team, right? You gotta have some diversity there, have some different choices, different strategies played. That's what makes Pokemon struggling a bit right now. Is because uh some Pokemons are so strong they're just oversaturating every team, right? That's why there's been a lack of diversity, and that's why people like Wolfie VGC is so respected within the community. It's because he doesn't go for the usual strong teams, right? So a diverse choice is needed. The second most important, it's not, I mean, it's tied for first, but it's the it's balancing, alright? You gotta have the stats, abilities, and moves balanced, alright? You can't have anything too overpowered, or everyone's gonna use that same Eleon, and that's gonna result in the diverse choice of Eleons being just thrown out the window, right? You gotta have it balanced. You can't have anything too strong, but you can't have anything too weak, right? I mean, you can have things too weak. There's like the first stage evolutions and stuff, but the like the second, the third stages, you want them to be usable, and the ones that don't have evolutions, you want them to be usable. And for scarcity of legendaries, listen, people might not understand what I mean at the first time, but when I talk about scarcity of legendaries, I mean, how should I explain this? I don't want legendaries to be oversaturated. All right. If we take an example, if we look at Lumia Legacy, it basically can drop like a roamer every half a year. Like it sometimes it drops a new roamer like every almost yearly or almost half a year. Like with the Halloween events and Christmas events, Valentine's events. Like, and sometimes that just makes it feels like the roamers, there's gonna be more roamers than there are regular Lumians. And I don't think that's good, right? I think that's the oversaturation. You want the legendaries to have some relevance, to be rare, to be a staple of your game. You don't want to just pump out like eight, like a cog in a wheel, like a factory, huh? So hopefully they don't do what Lumia Legacy does and just like yank out like 20 different legendaries in the span of like 6 months. Now, here is where I get spiteful to some of the other games. As you can see, Lumia Legacy is a big topic. I'm like constantly going back to. But ranked battles, you need double battles in ranked battles. If you're gonna have ranked battles, you're gonna need double battles, alright? Because Lumia Legacy didn't fucking have ranked double battles. And I think that's just fucking stupid. That is the most stupid shit. I'm sorry for my language. That's the most stupid shit you can do. You made a ranked PvP system. That was your whole thing. PvP 2.0 is just gonna be ranked. It's gonna matter. It's not casual anymore. It's gonna matter. And you don't do double battles? Double battles, quite simply the best type of battles there is. Cause let's be honest, who the hell is playing single? Single battles can be the most boring stuff there is. Double battles is where it's at. That's where the full potentials of Eleons, of Pokemon, of Lumians get put into. And you spit in their faces, Lumia Legacy. You didn't give us a double battle, nothing. You still don't have a double battles ranked. So, Lumia, I'm disappointed. And Eleons, I think you got this handled. You can't possibly be as stupid as that one. And finally, pretty obvious rewards to attract the players to play PvP. That's why Lumia Legacy have revamped their ranked PvP system, and it gives out rewards, right? Because it gives players like an incentive to play the game. I think that's just absolute the bottom line. You gotta have something. You gotta give us something to play. Anyways, and for trading here, honestly, it's not that hard. I don't even bother to put a picture. Just it's the most easy thing to make. Just have good moderators, prevent scammers from good anti cheat, and don't frequently bring back the scarce limited Eleons or the rare like legendary Eleons to overrun the market, right? Don't allow them to get like 1,000 of the same legendary. Like, come on, one to each person. It's like Pokemon. That's why legendaries are so respected, because you only get one, maybe two. But it's like one of each. That's just my opinion. Now, for quality story, this is a this is one of my major points, because I am a story guy. It is my belief that a game cannot thrive without a good story underneath. If we look at all the best games in the world, the most respected games in the world, the one the ones that's the most of the ones that stand on top are the ones that have a good story. Even Minecraft, it has lore, right? You might not believe it, but Minecraft has lore for people to delve into. When you look at the most popular games, like in the indie area, we got Bendy and the Ink Machine, Poppy Playtime, we got Five Nights at Freddy's. You know, all games that are very dependent on their story, and a big reason why in the creature capturing world there hasn't the most popular one right now has been like games like Pokemon Brick Bronze. Lumia Legacy semi there because it has a decent enough story for now, and that's a major flaw in the Pokemon area too. Because when you look at past games and present games, you can see how story affects the ratings of a game. Because when you look at Sword and Shield should be better than Black and White, right? It has better graphics, quote unquote, and it's just more recent. It got a better Pokedex and whatever, but it is not as good in the like when fans discuss it as Black and White. You know why? Because the Black and White story has just been has been one of the best in the Pokemon history, right? And so when we talk about the good points that Pokemon has, whenever it's Black and White, whenever it's even even Legend ZA, even Pokemon Arceus, even dare I say Scarlet and Violet, these games are liked by fans because they have a better story than the rest of the other games. That's just my opinion. So what Eleon's got to do, they gotta have a good groundwork. They have a good main quest. All right, strong characters, push the narrative forward. All right, don't let the don't let the game just be, oh, I'm a Eleon's trainer because I'm 12 now and I gotta go get all the badges and become champion. That can be the first goal, but you gotta introduce something in later. You gotta give us a grander scheme to look at, right? Because this story not only will flesh out the entire world building to make it more immersive, it will create stronger impressions and to attract players to stay, and give your Eleons a stronger impression, right? Because that's the whole point of creature capturing. You gotta befriend these creatures, right? If there's no impression of these creatures, what's the point of playing like a creature capturing. Gotta give us some impressions of these Eleons, right? And when we talk about community, it's a very simple thing. I think most games on Eleon's caliber knows decently well enough how to maintain a positive community. It's just to have a friendly, welcoming environment and promote those fan arts, those content creators, those live events. And when we talk about live events, I'm mostly talking in game because I know Allianz isn't gonna really go out into the real world and set up a shop in like San Francisco, right? There isn't that's not gonna happen. But like even in game like events, like it's a great way to f- liven the community up. Give them something to like to look at, to engage with. That's pretty important in my mind. And when we talk about communications, this is a big one because some of the worst problems in games are often the lack of communications between the fan base and the game developers, right? It's a very big thing. And when you look at when you look on the side here, I offered examples like Fallout 76. Oh, those guys sucked. Those guys sucked at communicating. Oh my, it's like they didn't know how to speak. You know, any regular human would have done better than what their PR team did. Meanwhile, No Man's Sky, they they really came back from down like a bad one, right? They were basically Fallout 76, but they had good PR. They had a good communication with the fan base. They had like developers that cared. That's why it's still flourishing. That's why it's still dropping updates for free. It accepts feedback. It talks about its update progress. It talks about its issues. It addresses it. It offers real solutions, and that's what makes a good development team. All right, you gotta give something to us, right? Which, from what I'm seeing on their Discord, they're doing pretty well at. You know, even when the game's like not fully there yet, they're still coming out to like give us a hint, give us a sneak peek behind the scenes. Pretty good, man. Keep it up, Eleons. And when we talk about competition, competitions are a really small thing. It's not even the main topic. It's more of a side topic. But I wanted to have 6 main topics so it looks nicer, right? So this is kind of just snuck in here. But I do hope that the competition with the other creature capturing games will help boost their productivity on this game, right? Because you know, competition is always good. The Pokemon is doing great now. I'm guessing because of Power World. But that's what happens. That's what competition brings. Competition breeds success. And I just hope it doesn't go to their heads like when they're established as the king of creature capturing games, the number one in the Pokeball throwing competition. They won't just like sit on their little golden thrones with little discs and just decide, oh, yep, that's it for me. I guess I'm number one now. I have a solid fan base. The money's not going anywhere. I guess I'm just gonna procrastinate. Hopefully they don't do that. I'm kind of worried, but I trust in the devs enough for them to not do that. You know. Yeah. And thank you guys for talking about the slides with me. It's I think that's it. I think that's it. What was I gonna? What did I say I was gonna talk about in the beginning? Um. Well, I forgot. Whatever. Anyways, if you disagree with me, if you agree with me, you can put it in the comments below. I'm curious what everyone else thinks. I probably could just like look in the Discord and see what they think, but I am never going on Discord unless it's like important stuff. And if I'm gonna talk with friends and not like strangers. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you found my yapping to be somewhat useful. And I'll see you guys next time. And in the street.